Hi, thank you for joining us for the Supplemental Resource Review Committee. Today we are reviewing We the People. I am calling the meeting to order at 4:15. So we're going to start with introductions 1.1. My name is Erica Daniel. I'm the Executive Director of School Effectiveness.
I'm Vicki Johnson. I have 8th grade ELA and Social Studies at Rainbow Valley.
I am Stacy Ruiz at Estrella Mountain. I teach 6th through 8th grade history.
I'm Justin Plavick. I'm 6th grade history at Blue Horizon.
Wonderful. Moving on to item 1.2, purpose and outcomes. So the purpose of our meeting is to review the quality of the supplemental materials and ensure that the resources are used for instruction to meet the district criteria. Our outcome today will be to review the criteria. We've already scored the supplemental resource, and to determine if our resource is to recommended to the governing board for 60-day review. We are moving on to 1.3, review of the criteria for scoring. So our rubric had 5 questions, and the committee was to rate them a 1 if it does not meet expectations, a 2 if it meets expectations, and a 3 if it exceeds expectations. Our questions are as followed. Is aligned to the Arizona High Academic Learning Standards. 2, research shows that the program or materials are evidence-based. 3, is appropriate for the subject area and for the age, emotional development, ability level, learning styles, and social development of students. 4, fills gaps in curriculum and or supports differentiation of learning for students so teachers can enrich and extend, remediate, or intervene. 5, uses current relevant technology that further engages interactive learning and can be used in the classroom and beyond. Moving on to item 1.4, discussion of We the People and our scoring. So our first question is aligned to Arizona High Academic Learning. We had 6 responses. 33.3% scored it as exceeds expectations, and 66.7% scored it as meets expectations. Our second item was research shows that the program or materials are evidence-based. We had 16.7% exceeds expectations, and we had 83.3% scored it as meets expectations. Our next evaluate criteria is fills gaps in curriculum and or supports differentiation of learning for students so teachers can enrich, extend, remediate, or intervene. We had it scored at 83.3% exceeds expectations and 16.7% as meets expectations. Another criteria was uses current relevant technology that further engages interactive learning and can be used in the classroom and beyond. We scored it as, or our participants scored it as 16.7% exceeds expectations and 83.3% as meets expectations. And then we had a comment section. Some of the comments that were left were, if we all attend the conference, we will all have a free set for our classroom or schools. No comment. Then we have the hearings are a great application of what they learned. And then we had, I will be attending the We the People workshop June 17th through the 21st. Complete class set will be given at the end of the workshop. And our last column comment was great supplement to our curriculum. Now I would like to open it up for discussion.
Well, given that I have the most experience with the resource, I just wasn't sure if anybody has any questions about it to help direct what I say, or I can just talk about it. Do you have any questions? No. Okay. One thing that I greatly appreciate about it is that the 6 units go from why our government is structured like it is. What was the experience of the colonists? Why did they make the choices that they did? How did they write our government? Moving all the way through how the justice system is built and all of that. I think my favorite unit is how does the Constitution protect our basic rights? And we talked about freedom of speech, freedom of religion, due process. And I love that it brings in court cases. So when we're talking about due process, and my students are now, we're having the conversation, should citizens under age 18 be given the same due process as those 18 and above? Because there's a court case, Galt versus, I hate to say I'm drawing a blank, that came out of Southern Arizona, where some teenagers were taken without parent consent, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of violations, if you look at what, is given due process. And so there's a lot of court cases brought in, there's a lot of thinking, and the culminating project for the entire thing is that the students prepare for a mock Senate hearing where there are judges up front and they are given a question and they have 4 minutes of presentation, and then they have to be ready for rebuttal questions after the fact, and they really know their stuff. And it's fun to me how kids can really dive into and find government and the law cool, and so to have a resource that makes it engaging for them is invaluable as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, thank you. She knows the cases better than I do. My brain is broken today. Yes.
I am attending. I don't think I wrote that because I don't think when I did this I knew that I was attending. So somebody else is attending. But I will be going to the June 17th conference at whatchamajiggy? No, Arizona Grand. And I will be getting a complete set. So at that point, you already have a complete set. So we'll have 3 complete free sets at 3 different schools, which will be good.
So I glanced at this just a little bit for the technology part. You guys can probably clarify what I'm saying. On the main page, it said it was good for Chromebooks. I did notice most of the documents were PDF on the students, and I might not have been looking at the right resource. I was looking at on the We the People, it said some supplemental resources that I looked at. The videos were great videos, I felt, but they won't be able to be played on the student Chromebooks because they're Vimeos. But that was just something I wanted to make sure we knew that, I felt like the videos were very informative. Yeah, absolutely.
Just for clarification, if I was to assign a video in Google Classroom, though, they could access it right from home if they did not catch it during class. Okay, yeah, the videos are great for classroom and discussion and engagement anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if they're logged into their Google Classroom on their personal computer, they can still get to YouTube and Vimeo and those, but they can't on their student device. So just keep that in mind. I was clicking on just a couple of links here and there, and I ran into one that was blocked by our filter. So we just have to be aware that sometimes if we run into a blocked link, we can unblock that. But if we do come across that, I was checking them on a student computer logged in as a student. So they're probably not blocked for our teachers, but if the resource was something we want our kids to know, then we'd have to just double check that.
Was it about a case or something that may have been controversial and that's why it just got flagged?
Maybe.
Okay.
I honestly wasn't looking at any content. I was looking at, does it work?
I like the fact that it does have the mock set in real life situations. That's the best way to learn, especially with engagement. As a 6th grade social studies teacher, I wouldn't actually utilize it at all, but I do have a college career ready class at the end of the school day, and that's kind of more for enrichment for social studies. And I have put on a mock Senate this year, and I made it from scratch, and it was probably could have been better. And I'm sure this supplement, like I would like to use it for the mock Senate just for the do it again next year.
And actually, with the Senate hearings, it is actually organized to where you can go and travel and compete against other schools. At the middle school level, it is just a showcase. You're not actually earning points. It is the opportunity to hear other schools, to have the opportunity to go do this. But in high school, they actually have competitions that go regional to the state to the national level. And it's a big deal. And so with the research space thing, this program has been around for a long time. They're now doing research on, is it effective with minority populations, with those specific I mean, they're really digging into it. And so I think a lot of thought and effort and focus has gone into building a very viable program that kids will engage with.
Any other discussion? Are we ready to vote? What we are considering is, do we recommend we the people to the governing board for 60-day review? So we're going to signal a thumbs up yes, a side I can live with it, or no. Okay, it looks like we have all of us 5 out of 5 with a thumbs up to recommend the supplemental resource, We the People. Thank you. So moving just along, we are adjourning 1.6 at 4:27. Thank you for coming and supporting us.